Every time. Welcome back, my fellow people with bird blindness, to the Peacemaker Podcast, DC Studios podcast, not to be confused with James Gunn's official Peacemaker Podcast.
Doing great work, by the way, over there. Frankie, who I
great.
love, she's awesome. So yeah, definitely go check out that show as well.
Yeah, how are you guys doing? How are you doing? How are you feeling? We're back talking about episode 3, which I know we're all excited. How are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good. I think James made a video just especially for me.
Yeah, you're triggered, him.
This is like, yeah.
We will talk about that. Andy, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little more tired than usual, but otherwise I'm doing good. Summer's over, thank God, because I like to be able to breathe when I go outside and like not feel like humidity. So, but how are you, Vanessa Goldfish? How are you doing?
Vanessa Goldfish. Vanessa Goldfish. You have shark blindness. I get
Yeah.
it. I'm looking up some. Sorry, I was looking up news. I'm doing good. I feel like it's been a really wild, busy week, but I'm excited to talk about episode 3, and talk about some DC news, which I'm really excited to talk about. And we can talk about the bird blindness video in a second. But
You want to give me a jump scare?
Guys, DC Studios news, if you are not aware, Clayface, which is coming out September 11th, 2026, is currently filming, and we have seen some on-set photos, and we're not going to show any, but we have seen them. I've seen the main actor dude, whose name
Tom Reed's Harry.
Tom Reed's Harry. Yeah, that guy who we've seen him on set, covered in things and looking quite beat up. We've seen the GCPD logo. We've seen graffiti with the Jokers, like with
Hitters.
All out, like just really cool world building we're seeing just from like a couple of days of filming. I have told you guys before, I'm very, 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 very excited about this movie. This is probably the one I'm excited about the most. Weirdly, even though I am excited about Supergirl, I don't know why. I just am really excited about Clayface. But yeah, what do we guys think about
He doesn't have Tom King.
No, I actually love Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. So like that's one of the good Tom King books. Like why I'm like, Tom, why aren't you more like this and less like Batman, Catwoman? Anyway, what do you guys think about the Clayface news and on the photos? I'm assuming you guys have seen them. Andy.
Man, yeah. Well, you have Andy minus now. That's
Man.
fine. Yeah. I love horror so much, and Clayface was always one of those, the best villains ever growing up when I was watching Batman animated series. And, it's also like that episode is one of the most tragic ones of all time because like it's not as black and white as, people make it out to be. So it's the fact that we're going to get to see Clayface final live action is awesome. From the photos that we've seen, they're shooting in Liverpool, UK. So I think that the two biggest thing that I stood out to me was that next to Tom is an actor dressed exactly like him. I'm like, I think that's probably the first guy we're gonna see him like shapeshift into.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping for as much practical effects as possible. Like, I mean, obviously, like he's not gonna walk around in a Clayface like suit, but like hopefully like there's I don't know if I know Vanessa, you watched Swamp Thing, right?
Swamp Thing. I was literally about to say if it's like Swamp Thing, I would love that. The practical effects things in that show.
Mike, did you see Swamp Thing?
Yes, I've seen Swamp Thing. I think that what they're doing again is going to be much more realistic interpretation of it. But I do think you're going to have the CGI element of it, depending how big they're going to go. Because I mean, I don't know if this is a story of a villain, but you don't know who's the antagonist of this film. So I don't know what it would require. A lot of visual effects for you, but they're making this very inexpensively. So it's like, I'm letting the story speak for itself. And, and then I think they'll understand their logic of knowing when to go practical and when to go CGI. But
it looks great either way. I mean, just like, from what it seems like they were shooting when they were rushing him to the hospital after whatever accident he's gone through. And again, we don't. well, accidents, it's Gotham City. Like, there ain't no accidents. They're just accidents. But yeah, so we see that, and then obviously him like completely. I don't know. I want to say disfigured, but he just looks like he's been like bruised up and like he's just covered in blood. Like, and then maybe that after that's when he's gonna inject the serum, whatever it is that turns him to Clayface. But yeah, again, it looks, and also the other thing that I think is like kind of funny because everyone's been like wanting Robert Pattinson's Batman to be in the DC. Like, if these logos for GCPD and Gotham City News and Jitters is not convincing you enough, I don't know what will. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Like, someone put like I think DC Film needs to put like a side by side. Here's Matt Reeves' GCPD and Gotham City News logos. Here are the DCU ones. They don't match at all. They're separate universes. So like, hopefully that like just puts people to rest.
Well, I mean, they change logos all the time. They changed Cracker Barrel and then they changed it back. So it's like I mean, we're not in an alternate reality. It happens.
I'm just gonna take what James says at face value, that these are two separate universes, and that's it. I'm not gonna speculate. If it happens, it happens.
I agree.
No one expected Ezra Miller's Flash to show up in the Crisis Universe, like things will happen.
CW on the Flash.
No one expected that, and they never told us and never teased it. Like, they could just do whatever they want when they want to, and I think people just need to accept that. Like, we're not right now. Those are separate universes, and that is what it is.
Let it be.
No. Yeah. What do you think of the photos?
Yeah, Mike, what do you think?
So with the I think the excitement for photos for this film is only from a filmmaking perspective. For me, is like, okay, it's kind of like it's almost like we're redoing what we did with the first Joker, or we're trying to create something original. I think what hurt it is the fact that we want to make a franchise out of this. Is like, I think the mistake was trying to let a piece of art stand on its own, and then you can do these singular stories and just let it stand for the test of time. And I think with Clayface is like, that's an opportunity just to highlight, certain characters that have a vast story, that's that definitely for whether you're a DC fan or just a film fan that you understand and appreciate. But yeah, I'm excited for it, even though whether it's not connected to DCU or whatever, it's whatever. I just want a good DC film. And again, this is the second time we have had a shot off of a Batman property character have his own film, which is telling you that, again, DC is riding the coattails of Batman for years, for decades. And I'm just showing that if it can be done with him, it can be done with other characters as well. Like, don't just be limited to one singular character. Let's go to their rogues gallery. How about a Captain Cold film or something? Or, I don't know, like, Mirror Master, Reverse Flash, like, whatever. I don't know. It just, so those
the way Vanessa would be sitting front seat on day one for a Reverse Flash movie.
Think about it. Like, think outside the box, or certain things. Hell, we got Planet of the Apes, a Grodd film. Would that be? All that stuff, right? But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, what they can do.
No, I agree with you. I think the problem with it is that people want to see Batman. So like when they do these Clayface, Joker, Harley, movies, it's like,
exactly.
Ooh, are we going to see Batman in the background? That's almost always the tease. So like, I'm hoping we get something similar that happens with Superman now. Like, with people are like, ooh, excited about Superman, so we'll get a Brainiac film, or like, a
Luthor
Livewire. Yeah, that would be dope. Other updates. We have minor, like Amanda Waller's show is still getting retooled according to James Gunn, or still getting worked on, and then he's still trying to figure out how to make Static fit into the universe. Considering those are two Black focused properties, I'm like mostly just taking that at face value. Like, will we get them in the next few years? I don't know. I would like to see it. Static has been promised for so long in live action. I'm just not really like. I'm not like that hopeful at this point, because they announced it and then we have like years ago, and then nothing ever happened. And it's such an easy character it's such an easy win too. Like, with how popular Miles Morales is, I just don't get. And with superheroes, the superhero genre struggling to capture like Gen Z, they're gonna struggle to capture Gen A too. So like, why not start diving into your younger heroes a little bit more, focusing on heroes that are in high school and dealing with younger themes, instead of like characters that are like aging and getting cancer, like things like that. Like, it's just, I feel like DC has like, it needs to like adjust a little bit, like to balance out the like stories. Like some of our stories are very much, some of DC stories are, a lot of DC stories are very mature. Actually, at this point, all of DC stories in the universe are pretty mature, besides like Superman. So I think that like we do need to see some balance and like pulling in some younger audiences, in my opinion. And that is how you do that with Static. Like Static is great. Like I could not care less if we see an Amanda Waller show. The only appeal about that is Viola Davis to me. That's the only appeal. That's
right.
it. What do you guys think?
I think so, like especially with Viola Davis again. She in television, like she's great. You know, she's magnificent. Like How to Get Away with Murder. Like I watch episodes with her in it. You know, so we can actually sit with understanding her history in this new world and everything for Amanda Waller, which we got like teased live action with Angela Bassett and Green Lantern. But it's whatever. Like they did that. You know. Little tease about her backstory, but she has the character Amanda Waller has a very tragic backstory. So it's just like that will understand all her elements and stuff as we move forward. But now you have Academy Award winning and now nominated actress both, you know, together. I guess it's come on, it's like it's basically you're asking for an Emmy, you know, for that if you do it right. Again, Static, I mean, for the Black community, I'll just speak for them. It's just like, how the hell we got a Blue Beetle movie before a Static Shock movie? That makes no sense to us, and I don't think it makes sense to a lot of people. Because I even said it, like, Static and Milestone, that's your DC's Black Panther in terms of, like, your audience. Like, if that can be done in terms of Marvel and, you know, even during an administration that even then we still made those dollars during that time. So it's like we can do that with Static. And on top of that, there's other characters that are derivative of Static, right? You know, Static Shock had to crawl so Miles Morales can swing. So it's like that if you understand that audience, it's like this is a original character, not no derivative of an existing character. He is that character. So when it come right, you know, I waited almost 20 years for Jon Stewart. Now we're getting it. So I have hope. And I think James have been asked so many damn times about Static in interviews by every Black critic or journalist out there. And I appreciate the community out there because I'm definitely going to ask him when I interview him one day. And I'm pretty sure it's on his radar. I know for a fact it's on his radar because he simply said, I love Static. I just need to see how we can work it out and everything. He been asked multiple times about him. So, yeah, he listens to audience, you know, but what we want, what we like. So I'm not in fear. I'm patient.
Yeah.
I gotta stick up on my boy Blue Beetle for a second. Like I mean, listen, like I grew up with Static, you know, when the show was airing, for me as a kid, you know, and I grew up with Jaime Reyes. So like again, I think there's room for both of them. I don't think there's a need to talk about, you know, who should have come first. Again, like it's, you know, I'm glad that we got at least one of them, you know, in this culture that we live in right now, like when we have to fight so much for heroes that aren't just white, straight, and males, like, you know, like I will take that as a victory. So when it comes to Static, I mean, listen, like I read that James doesn't reveal anything too soon and revealing something that is like half baked. Like, you know, if they're trying to figure it out, then they're trying to figure it out. I'd rather have that than being told, oh, this is in development, and then we don't hear anything for 5, 6, 7 years. Like there was like when I remember when
Michael
DC
B. Jordan.
Universe.
I said Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, he was assigned to produce it, and then heard nothing about it.
Yeah, he was gonna do a Val Zod show as well for HBO Max. So like, you know, like that's the thing. Like I don't want that era of DC anymore where like they just give you a promise like this is what we're developing. Like I remember I was on the phone with Vanessa Dolphin when the news came in that John Diggle suddenly was now getting a spin-off show called Justice You. Like remember that, Vanessa? We were on the phone talking about, and then like the fuck is this? And then nothing happened. Like I'd rather get James to tell us when things are ready. And like, and that same thing goes with Waller. Like, you know, I think we're gonna get Waller in some form or fashion, like whether it is as Checkmate or Secret Six. Like I think you're getting, and also Viola's a very busy actress, you know, like she has lots of stuff coming up. So, but you know, we love that for her. Like we love her to stay busy and getting paid. So I rather, and listen, when it comes to that creating with of Jeremy Carver from Doom Patrol and the one writer from Watchmen. Like, listen, like, don't rush it. Like, I like, listen, right now we have a lot of good things coming. We have, you know, we have Clayface, we have Supergirl, we have Lanterns, we have Batman vs Superman season 3, we have, what was the new Batman art cartoon that came out? Cape Crusader, Batman Cape Crusader season 2. Like we have lots of DC things coming out, so I rather
We have
than
lots of DC things, but we don't have a lot of DC Black things.
no, I
Yes.
know, no, I know.
No, there you
That's
go.
the thing. Black people get put on the back burner. We have just wait your turn. We get that. I get that shit, hear that shit all the time. As a Black Puerto Rican, when people were criticizing In the Heights and saying like, why aren't there any enough, or what wasn't In the Heights? It was the remake of West Side Story, and they were like, why aren't there any Black Puerto Ricans in this? And Reno Moreno was like, you guys should wait your turn. It's about like, no,
Wait your
actually,
turn.
we're constantly told to wait our turn and
The audacity.
no, Black Puerto Ricans, Black people exist, Black heroes exist. Static is one of DC's most popular heroes, and DC doesn't even have the excuse anymore. Warner Brothers does not have the excuse anymore of like being worried about international audiences. Superman survived that, so you can't use that shit anymore. Put Static on the big screen. He will make money, and Black people show up for their for movies that they love. The Sinners has also proven that. So like Warner Brothers really doesn't have an excuse anymore to not make a Static movie, and I don't really like hearing we have plenty. We can wait. No. We've been waiting for Static for a long time. And
well, I didn't say wait. I didn't.
No, I'm not.
No, we understand you're not.
Okay.
Every thing in our community.
It is something we hear a lot.
Like we always. I'm sorry. For almost like 20 years, I'm saying for our internal conversation, man, they're going to do a Static. It's ingrained, and people are like, well, it only lasts for a couple of seasons. Like a show like that. Or that character does not stay with people that's not important, right. For and just even Black women are Rocket, who's highlighting single mothers and other things. There's other thing, Icon, who's a Black conservative Republican, like that's like that intellectually, that's like, oh, that's fascinating. Those themes now, like that's
very diverse. Yeah,
now more than ever, where it's like the opportunity is here, and I'm just like so. But yeah, anyway, I'm patient. We're patient.
I'm not. I'm impatient.
I'm impatient, but I'm
tired.
I'm just saying that the PR answer. Yeah, just wait, y'all.
Yeah, we have lots to talk about with Peacemaker, so I'm gonna step off the subject. I don't know if we have any other news related things. All right, cool. So we're gonna talk about our favorite bird blindness related television show that has showed us the plight of people with bird blindness. The team released a PSA sharing, what people go through when they go through this. Some people are discovering that they have bird blindness. So I just want to say, anyone out there that's suffering from this condition, I'm so sorry. We hear you, and we never want to dismiss what you're going through. And we apologize on behalf of all bird blindness people. Mike wasn't diminishing your abilities or your condition. He was simply saying, what the fuck is happening? And I think that's fair, because none of us heard about bird blindness before. So I would just like to apologize on behalf of the podcast for anyone suffering from bird blindness. I'm sorry. Anyone, any thoughts? Jedi Mike, do you have anything to say to the audience regarding your reaction last episode?
I said what I said. I every time I hear it, I cringe. And again, and then on top of that, we haven't got to another character that's got introduced in this episode, but they just, you want to talk about Black people in DC? Come on now, you just give me a great one. And
cringe representation.
I only have one response. And
literally.
scene.
Let's talk about this episode, which we all loved.
Yes.
I have the 5. Let's overall thoughts. What were your guys' thoughts on this episode, Andy?
I'm so we can finally talk about it. No, this is the one I've been rewatching the most on my screener page, to the point where like my browser crashed at one point, like, and I'm like, oh no, they think I'm watching it too many times. So no, I love getting to see this like other side of the coin of what's been, what Chris is witnessing, because like when you look through it, like it all feels too good to be true. Like, and it's like there's obviously there's supposed to be something, like another shoe dropping any second, and there's a lot of fun surprises in this episode, which I know we'll get to. But yeah, I I always love when, like, when once we spent, like, this is again very much something like the Flash season 2 also did, that we spend some good time with season 1 with our main character, and then we can visit that idea of, like, let's see what is Iris and Joe and Barry and all these characters like on Earth 2, for example. So, like, this feels earned, this feels rewarded, and yeah, so, like, I can't wait to dive more into it.
What about you, Mike? Overall thoughts?
Yeah, I think the first 5 minutes of this episode really like won me over with this season in terms of, okay, now this is the meat that I've been waiting for, and honestly changed everything I thought about one particular character, and with Harcourt, and just like, oh no, this is a lot deeper than I thought it was. And I like that it was like, oh, that was definitely earned, and the timing of it was just like, wait, in my head I'm like, wait, are we in a new universe? And it's like, no, we're not. And then they just get to present day, get to the funeral, get to the, like, wow, that is insane. And it's like, it makes perfect sense now. Like, this can never work out. I mean, who knows? But this can never work out. When I'm saying this, but I'll say, James, that was a good hook in the beginning of this episode, going into the credits. It's like, that was smart.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing, and that's funny you brought the Flash went to, in like their season 2, they also went to the alternate universe, and like Peacemaker season 2 went to an alternative universe in their season 2. Maybe it's just a season 2 DC thing, but I think that's fun. It is earned because now we're like, we've built up so much and learned so much about Harcourt, and have to like not only learn more about our Harcourt, but now we meet a new one who is like so different. I think the height of like someone's acting, is why I love Tom Cavanaugh so much, is when they can act the same character with different nuances. That is so hard for people to do. It is very hard for people to do, because within that same show, someone tried it too, and she was struggling the house down boots trying to play a different version of her same character.
Yes.
Anyway, so that, whew, so cold. So yeah. I think it's like Jennifer, her name's Jennifer Holland, right? I always forget.
Yeah, I always call her Willa Holland, like the sister from Arrow.
Yes, yeah. She's so talented. I've already loved her. Then this episode and the subsequent episodes, I was like, oh, she's one of my absolute favorite characters on the show. She's deeper than we thought. I think that this show is such a good showcase for her. I love alternate universe shit. Like, it's just so much fun to watch, like, him in that universe and seeing his reaction to everything. And we can like dive into it right now. Like, June, we literally get like a confirmation that like, not only is we know that the Suicide Squad is mostly canon, but Suicide Squad is all like at least the relationship between Rick Flag Jr. and June Moon and / Enchantress is also canon, because he was cheating on her with Amelia Harcourt, our Harcourt. So that was basically what it opened up to. Like, well, that was crazy. I think that's the biggest reveal, biggest bombshell, was that like Harcourt and Rick Flag Jr. were fucking. Thoughts?
I mean, with that face, I would fuck him too.
Okay, first off, when he said that the actor that plays Rick Flag Jr. was like, well, I hope we ever see him again. Well, you never know, and I think that it was earned perfect. Like, the fact that you're going to do the Rick Flag Sr. plot line here, to not have Junior, at least, we got the flashback in the last episode, but then this just makes it even more personal. The fact that now, on top of you already having this world, the history from the original Suicide Squad film, now it's like we have a living Rick Flag Jr. In a different universe and stuff, and it just like who's completely different, but then yet it's putting Chris in a very uncomfortable situation. Like, oh my gosh, and I think there's a lot of possibilities what can turn out in these how the ending of this season is going to go, and I'm very interested to see how that maybe Rick Flag Jr. or Senior gets closure if he sees the alternate version. I don't know. It's just like it's crazy how things can turn out. But I'm just saying, for the emotional element, we're thinking, wait, why Chris and Harcourt, why they can't get together and stuff. It's for some people that ship it. I even also was saying that, hey, sometimes like the lead male and female character don't need to be always romantically involved, and stuff. And then, but also show that it can get messy as well. And then say, hey, listen, the guy you killed was someone I had feelings for. He was not only my friend, someone I loved, and you took that from me. And before I even met you, I already knew about you. So just like it, and even though now we work together, and I've seen like, yeah, you evolved, I still can't mess with you because of what you have done, and I can't even share that to you. And just showing just how closed off and like how trauma does with people, especially with a female character that's just suppressing that, and you're wondering like, why is she such an asshole? You know why? Like it's just like she don't want to be opening up because of trauma. We see this similar with the bride in Creature Commandos, which I like. It's just like there's definitely you writing these characters very multi-dimensional and not just two-dimensional, just like it's whatever. It's like this is very complex, and I'd say the actress, that she's been doing a really good job of taking us to that arc, but also James writing that arc for her. So yeah, it was earned.
What about you, Andy? Thoughts?
No, I love hardcore. Like I think I like the little glimpse of, again, like we got in the Suicide Squad, and that's seeing like, okay, there's some humanity among some of these Argus people. So like then seeing her more in season 1, I'm just like, okay, like she's a badass mofo. Like I'm in for this. And then yeah, like I think Jennifer Hall is, because people always call, because she's married to James Gunn, people always like put her down and be like, oh, she's just a pretty blonde who just gets the job because she's married to the boss. Like no, but like she knows how to act, and like I think this is an episode that really shows that really good example of like a hardcore that didn't grow up with the hardship that she had in the DCU in this Earth. Now like. Again, it was weird seeing like her like smiling and kind of like like not being bruised up and bloody. I'm like okay, what's the twist? Like, like I was like, this is too good to be true. So it was genuinely sweet, and the whole thing with the, I mean, it's, I know you made it as a discussion point, but it's like, I will wait till you tell us when we can talk about it. But the fact that she and Rick Flag Jr. like were at least buddies with benefits, I'm like, I mean, I can't blame her, but then again, I because I don't know when this scene is taking place, like after 2016 Suicide Squad, like because by the end of
Quarter Maltese, that's what they said in the scene.
Oh right, that's true. Yeah,
like,
so I'm like, I'm wondering if she and Juno, I wonder if he and Juno have maybe been like, maybe there's something going on there. I doubt we're gonna see Cara Delevingne back as Enchantress. But no, but like again, it was kind of just it doesn't feel like a forced like connection. It feels very genuine, like, oh yeah, like these Argus people that Waller has put together. So like, it's something like I could see some of these things intertwine. Vanessa, what did you think
of the beginning? Yeah, I mean, I think that the reveal is pretty crazy. It makes sense. But I'm also now like questioning like everything, like all of Amelia's motivation or Harcourt's motivations. Like,
yeah,
was this all planned? Is she trying to get revenge? Like, what is happening? Like, what is like why would she sleep with a guy who killed the guy she was sleeping with? Like, that has to mess you up like somehow in your head, like that. Where do you like be? Where are you in your head to be in like that kind of place, And I'm not gonna lie, Harcourt doesn't seem like she has much love for herself, considering she lets herself get beat up constantly. So I gotta say, there's probably a lot of self-loathing going on there, and I think that is an interesting like thing for someone like her, who looks like her and who generally like gets around and like pretty easily because she's a blonde, pretty white woman. But she like is the antithesis of like everything that you would expect from her. She just like is mean and rude and broke, and so it's interesting. And then her opposite, it's just like completely, it's so jarring. The pencil skirts, the straight hair, like they did the Mary Kate Ashley Olsen style of hair where one has straight hair, one has wavy hair, but it's so effective where like she just carries herself there. She's like laughs a little nervously. Like we know that this one got cheated on by her Peacemaker, and like so the dynamics are different. She's like yearns for Pete, like she yearns for Chris, whereas like Harcourt is like get the fuck away from me. So they're completely opposites in like almost every way, which I find fascinating. It's just so interesting. So I genuinely love like the twist in the beginning, like the fact that they opened up with, yeah, she was fucking Rick Flag Jr. And I'm like, they did not just bring back Rick Flag for like Joel Kinnaman for just that beginning scene. So when we see him later as the jarhead that his brother Keith was mentioning, I was like, oh my God, it's him. I think people were speculating that. So like now, if you were speculating that, you're correct. They were talking about
Rockstar. You was right. You were right. Now, you got the episodes early? Maybe, like you're in the same rooms as us, so I just want to say, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just. You already knew it, but yeah, good content.
Anyway.
Yeah, we had to, like, again, if you watch episode 1 and 2 of our discussions, like, again, like every time we even like mention episode 3, like, you can see like all of us kind of like lighting up a little, because this was one of the things that we wanted to talk about, but we couldn't.
It was literally on the list. Yeah, we could not talk about it, which is fair because it's a big spoiler, which I'm also speculating that there's reasons why we're not getting the 3 episodes. Like we're gonna see there's gonna be cameos in there that are that will be spoiled.
Tom Cavanaugh is gonna be in the final 3 episodes.
I wish. Oh my God. But anyway, speaking of the 2 Peacemakers, they're the universe that Chris goes into Dead Chris's world is completely different. They love him there. Girls are showing their titties, kids are crying, there's a parade. I don't know. He's just like, he's in Versace. His entire closet's filled with Versace fucking silk shirts. He has a cycle. His family loves him. Hardcore yearns after him. Or Amelia.
No Kardashians?
Huh?
No Kardashians?
Allegedly, like there's just he's on the front page of every newspaper. He's like, this is his good place. This is his best universe, his best possible like scenario that anyone could ever have. And that also makes me very, very suspicious, considering what also happens later on in the episode with the Sons of Liberty. But what do you guys think of like just like Chris fully immersing himself unethically, immorally, and probably illegally into this man's life? Thoughts, concerns, questions?
We've seen this story trope before, and I can't I don't want to say whether it's Groundhog's Day or there's like there are other films that kind of like do like, well, let's go to the alternate reality, see everything possibly work out for you, version of you, and then you realize, hey, what you had was actually what you needed all along. You just had, it's not about what stuff that happened to you, it's about your perspective and appreciating what you have, and realize again the grass is not green on the other side. The grass is green where you water what you pour into. Clark it.
That got deep.
But yeah, it's it is Sunday. But anyway, I did. Yeah, and I really liked how it's kind of showing again. I like the on the technical point of view, like the peace cycle, the helmets. Like, I want to see this character evolve with his resources and stuff, and just kind of be like, all right, I can fly now, and not just with my helmet. I have a jetpack and I have a cycle. Like, kind of have more arsenal, that you can use. But yeah, Amelia, I think again that's showing that duality of her saying like, well, regardless, Chris as a character isn't perfect. You think, oh yeah, this person might yearn for you, but like that version of you is not treating her right. So it's like, and also it's implied that he's also a drug user or pill popper or whatever. Yeah. So it's like, there's other things, like it's not perfect, but I think with those lines, I think going to have way more dramatic consequences down the line, because like showing like, hey, where's the catch here? Everything can't be all perfect here. And so, I think it's going to show that probably in episode 5, whatever. But again, I think he's coming to terms of like, let me just sit here because my life sucks right now. So let me just sit in this world, kind of be like, what is his life? Oh wait, he got hardcore, and she's texting back immediately, and that she misses me. Okay, take that opportunity if your life sucks. But again, it's escapism. And I think that's the big theme of this season.
Mm-hmm. Andy.
So I have like 3 different reactions to this episode because I rewatched it in the ways I rewatched it. The first time I watched it, and then seeing this plot point, I'm like, oh my God, what a great reality. The second time I watched it, I'm like, there are not a lot of, there are barely any people color here. And all of these white people seem very, very happy for some reason. And then I'm like, Andy, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. You're psyching yourself. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed. Next time I watch it, I'm like, I paused so many fucking times, and I'm like, unless I'm listen, like, Andy's getting old, but like, unless my eyes are deceiving me, like, there is something beyond fucked up on this earth, because the way that they're talking about the American, the Americana spirit, and how Peacemaker is like, like, you're keeping us safe, and and we know how white people sometimes talk when they say, keeping us safe, and we know like who they mean from, and I'm like looking again and again, and I'm remembering, well, who is Peacemaker's dad on our earth? I can't say the word on YouTube because apparently we can't. It's not a good word to say on YouTube, otherwise we get shadow banned. But I'm thinking, just because he's nice on the outside on this other earth doesn't mean that something beyond fucked up could not have happened here. And I'm like, holy fuck, if that's what they're doing. Because again, like, one of my favorite phrases is, there's no place like home. And I wonder if this is what Christopher is about to witness as we get through the rest of the season. Because there's just, I'm like, this is too good to be true. Like, because again, like, in this perfect life, like, Adebayo would still be his BFF, but we don't see.
This is a difference, though. His brother dying caused a massive life crisis. So that if he didn't have his brother, he saw other family. I think that makes more sense. I agree with you. I'm going to comment on that, the lack of people of color, but I think his brother dying is the catalyst point. Like,
that's true. But again, there's a lot of reasons why. Again, I'm watching. I'm watching the extras, and I'm like, something is not right here. Vanessa, you take it from here.
So this is something I noticed. I was like, everyone, like, the way the like camera, like when Amelia flicked her hair back, and the way the like light hit the blonde, the golden pup retriever, the blonde kid, there's so much Aryan codedness in on this earth, and there are a significant lack of people of color that I noticed as well. The fact that one of the villains that they beat was called the Rainbow something. So there is speculation that this Earth is a bad Earth.
Yeah, think of
like an Earth 3. Earth 3 was an Earth 3.
Earth X.
Yeah, Earth X. Yeah, so like Earth, I think, which is in canon, Earth 3. It would make a little bit of sense if the door he went through is an alternate reality where the Aryan lovers won. And if you don't know what Aryan is, just
Google is your friend.
I would search. I don't know how to even search that. Search Aryan and Holocaust. I think that will give some good some background on that, because there's just something that I kind of like note. I was just like, because on the surface of it, you're like, oh, this is an alternate Earth, so his dad and his brother must be great. But like, we don't actually know that. The only difference we know is that Keith is not dead. His dad was always a piece of shit, right? Do we not know that? Do we know that? Like, we don't know, because they have him. The two dads have the same trajectory, right? They have the same damn uniform, just in different colors. So like, are they the opposite, as in like they're good versions of them? Or is the world opposite, as in the bad guys won? And that, so I'm curious about that. It would make a hell of a plot twist for this to be like an Earth X type of deal. Because this leads into my second point, the Sons of Liberty. And what Earth, we're already talking about it. What actual kind of reality is this? The Sons of Liberty in the comics, the original intent, they were like an ultra patriotic, like anti-U.S. government, like overthrow the government type of like organization. Newer versions of them have them being neo,
what?
Yeah. So the Sons of Liberty being that kind of enemy on this Earth, but what if it's the opposite?
Yeah.
What if they're fighting against a fascist government powered by fascist superheroes? Because the Sons of Liberty are bad guys in every comics canon. They're not good. They're not a good organization. They often hate metahumans. They're not good people. But if on this earth, yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
He shook it like the way that it's like.
No, because it's like then it could like my Negro spider senses are tingling. It's like it's again. It's just like
you can't say
that my entire view of this season because like I was just watching this, binging through it, and then as a viewer, you're focusing mine on the brother hardcore, and then the surprise return of Rick Flag Jr. And yet you're not focusing on the world that's around you because you're just focused on, wait, we got his brother. Oh yeah. But by doing that, you're also walking in the shoes of Chris being naive and walking into the world where he's like, oh, look all this nice thing. Look like this, not knowing what's actually around you. And I'm like, and that is like, as a writer, that's actually genius. And I'm like, but then I think we have our clip. You throw me away because then you bring up the dumb shit in the rest of this episode. So it's like that's what I'm like, it's almost like I forget to actually dive into this, which actually strengthens my criticism. So yes, I will stand on it. So yeah, okay, I got you, James. But yeah, okay, yeah, I gotta go back.
We'll see if this is actually. Yeah. That's like the biggest speculation.
It's a theory. It's a theory.
Will be stronger once this episode airs. I'm curious to see how the audience, because they'll pick up stuff that even we didn't notice. Because I didn't notice it until my second watch. Like on your first watch, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god.
On your MacBook for whatever reason.
Forget about that. The first watch, I'm gonna turn it off actually because that's crazy. On the first watch, I did not notice much because I was so focused on the alternate universe and the differences between the like I was just like,
I gotta watch it again.
But the second watch, I was like starting to notice some stuff, and I was like, where are the black people? But yeah.
I thought for 1 second I saw a brown person, but I'm like, no, never mind. That wasn't it. Then I'm like, oh no, I think we're doing that thing. And
we also haven't seen the other versions of the team, and technically they're Argus agents. So if we see Harcourt, we should have seen Economos. We should see Economos, Adebayo.
But also, is he Irish?
Economos? I think that's a Greek last name.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. No.
I think the last name is Greek. I don't actually know what.
Okay, but I'm just. It's like you thinking like we're thinking too much deep to it.
I know. I'm like, oh my god.
and then Vigilante, when he made the comment, oh, I'm probably there another universe, right? But it's like you're asexual, and it's you're white, but you're asexual.
But we could see if his version of we could see the comics accurate version of Vigilante in that universe because they're so different. Because that would be an interesting thing to do too. If like people are complaining about not seeing the original Vigilante, it would be an interesting thing to do that in the alternate universe to see a different version.
What is he like in the comics? Because
CW, like, even though it's different, but still like his tone wise like the CW, but it's different.
It's just to me, I've read a couple issues. It's just very like he's a guy who shoots, pew pew guy. He's a Deathstroke not Deathstroke like, but like all those comic book assassins all kind of blend in together. So he didn't really have much of a personality that I can remember. So I think this version of him, I do personally like better than.
I agree.
But anyway. So we blew Mike's mind with our.
Yeah, we're gonna have. Yeah, I need you to do this. Like, okay, Raya, like when you watch it, like as me and Vanessa are telling our like explanations, we need to have a full frame on Mike, and like when he's like realizing it, that's like is.
Let's just message her this. You don't need to give her notes.
Yeah, add my Negro spider senses. Like,
but that was so cute. Like.
I know. I was like, I didn't even realize you didn't think about it. But yeah, when you watch the episode, look at it. All right, let's check back in. Think we have any other thoughts about the alternate universe? Because I think
it's very clean.
It is. Yes. I wonder why. Yeah. No homeless people. I saw. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. No kids playing in the basketball courts. Interesting. Interesting. But yeah, I'm curious about this universe. And weirdly, we don't get to see a whole lot more. We don't get, like after this, like I mean, we will, but like
yeah, we will, guys. We will definitely.
We will, but like 4 or 5 are heavily like other stuff. Anyway, which we will complain about. Trust. But the 11th Street Kids, let's check in on them. They are recovering. Well, I don't know why Vigilante took Economos's pants. Adebayo and Hardcore have such a great like friendship and like bond that I love. I don't have anything deep to say about it. But if you guys have any thoughts about the 11th Street Kids and their post,
it was a realistic like morning after with friends after you were partying and drinking and stuff. And I'm just like, but also like nobody did anything stupid. We're just kind of recovering, we're all hungover, but it's like we're also helping each other out. Hey, I'll get some pancakes for you. Here's some orange juice. Like, oh yeah, he left your pants over here. I just let you, sleep here.
Left your pants.
Because you were comfortable, but yeah, and I just thought that was again realizing that dynamic again. Like I wish we would have spent time with them more. Just really let this friendship dynamic play itself out like with season 1. But because season 1 they were spending a lot of time with each other, so it's just like here it's just like, well, any chance we get is just is what it is, which again I guess that's also representing the sadness part of it too, why everyone feel like they're all miserable. Because like things are just taken away from them. They don't have those support systems, nor their careers, or where they want to be in life because of the ramifications of season 1. So, but yeah.
Your thoughts?
Andy? Spider Facts was just so random. Like there's just like weird. Like I know James Gunn loves animals, and I love the way he usually portrays animals like in his project. But this season of Peacemaker, it's like bird blindness, getting everything wrong about spiders. I'm like, okay, can we go back to crypto? Like, can we go back to Eagly? Like, I'd rather like hang out with them instead of focusing on no. Adebayo and Amelia, like no, I remember we're calling our main hardcore and we're calling Amelia on that other Earth. Okay, so hardcore and Adebayo, like I love that they're like besties, like and that they connect. And I love it when she's like, "Why are you encouraging him?" And she's like, "I know, I'm sorry." And I thought it was kind of sweet that Adrian like kind of like, let me watch his pants or something. Like it was pants, like he kind of like kissed him on the forehead, like sleep well. Like he's just like he's trying, like that's just him trying to be nice. I'm like, okay, I can't. No, but like whenever she was like, I was just checking to see if you had any vomit in your throat or something. I'm like, okay, I don't want. Like, I'm so glad that they don't even like try to film that for us. But yeah, no. We get more with the 11th Street Kids next week, so I don't have much to say about them either.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Wait, did you go, Mike, already? You went already. You did. Okay. So we got to talk about our least favorite new character.
No.
I'm sorry, he was introduced in this episode. We got more jokes about bird blindness. This is what Sacha Bordeaux, an interesting character is being written to do at this point, is dealing with these fucking idiots. All of them idiots. Agent Fleury, Economos, I love you, but you're being an idiot. Fucking Eagle Hunter. Sorry, what's his name? Red Saint Wild. And then we also get the reintroduction. Judah Master is back. So I'm just like, Jesus Christ. It's like we have so many. Like, I get it. We need comic, we need comedy, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, do we need this many useless fucking characters?
Say it with your whole chest.
Red Saint Wild, the way he is dressed, like Michael Rooker is a very talented actor, and I appreciate when he appears in whatever projects that he appears in. But this is ridiculous. Like, we did not need. If we were gonna do a Red State, if we were gonna do this, why couldn't it just been an actual like indigenous person or Choctaw or like fucking Cherokee? Could have been anyone instead of a white guy cosplaying as whatever. I don't know what's happening. This is, and it gets worse. So for anyone who's like looking at this character and they're like, he'll just be around to shoot the eagle, like whatever. You guys don't understand. He gets a significant portion of the plot in the next couple episodes.
It takes me completely out. I'm not even trying to spoil the shit. It's just like it takes you completely out. So it's like I forget all the actual details that make this show really good because you have all this dumb shit of a character of original character, and just for sake of just making this character more powerful than what we might think this character is. Like, yeah, he can just be an angry bird, or that just attacking, being your protective animal, um, but just like there's a line that's all right. We get it. Now you like. I don't need no like. Again, I said this is like you're giving. Oh yeah, I want to give equally like arch nemesis. It's like giving like Crypto, like the villain, like the Condiment King. As a villain. Like we need an arc. What we can do? Yeah, he need to go against the Condiment King. He gets trapped in Gotham City, and he teams up with Ace to go against the Condiment King and Kite Man. So yeah,
I would watch it.
Like just like it's just it. I just like that's the thing where it's just like that's the part where I don't know what James was thinking of this. Like, oh, just stupid. Let me just put it here. But you already have stupid shit here. It's like, okay, it's like, if you have this part here, the bird blindness, again, every time I say it, I fucking cringe, but like you have it, then have that be your stupid shit of this show. But then you add another stupid shit. And I'm not talking about a joke, I'm talking about a character. Like that's what I'm saying. The imbalance is just like, oh wait, we have too many dumb characters, or not even comic characters. They're just original BS just for what filler. But yeah, you have a great moments here with these cast of your core cast, and just let it manifest, let it like sit through. And then it's like almost like you're making that the main character plot almost like a side plot almost, because we got to spend so much time on this equally stuff, and then the bird blindness with Tim Meadows and everything. It just like. And then actual comic characters who want to see, they just get one-liners. Like, that's just like, that's, that's where I'm like, come on now. It's just, you're lacking priority here. But again, I don't know what the 3 episodes are going to be that like for 5.
No, they better be good. They
like
better
6,
be fucking
7,
good.
8, the amount that James is hyping this stuff. And I'm just like, hey, you better deliver in 2 weeks, man. Cause like shit, like, I don't, but yeah.
Whew. This episode was really good, you guys. We're just the introduction of
right.
I'd say wow. Took the wind out.
We apologize for for certain characters kind of draining our energy.
Well, we're not gonna apologize for anything. Like we're not gonna apologize for anything.
This episode was a great episode to actually like you're sitting in your seat like, am I invested? And then we get interested into the alternate world with Rick Flag Jr., Amelia, and everything. Like that's the stuff. Okay, now we're getting busy with the plot moving forward. And Rick Flag Sr. continually trying to press on the team of getting him and hunting him down. And now that he's fully into this new world, they're now notified like, hey, this alternate dimension is not going to go well because he's continually going to it. Again, escapism. It's like and it affects everybody around you. Whatever that might be for you, drugs, other things, and stuff like that. That it has a domino effect. So I think that's like what they're kind of just showing here. But there's just certain characters of which they just wouldn't be here. So we can just sit with the good stuff here because there is good stuff.
Andy, any thoughts on the intro? Yeah,
I thought. I thought the dumbest thing that DC could do was have Cecile Horton breathe in any episode of The Flash. I was wrong. This is like the beyond more infuriating. Where I'm like, because this is okay. This is because people are gonna be like, oh, they're bitching so much about it. This is surprisingly my favorite season of Peacemaker, but there are just more things for me that I'm more annoyed with because I'm like the story. Like when it comes to the characters we actually give a shit about, like. It's good. It's upgraded. It's elevated. Like it's rich. It's expanding these characters from what they were in season 1. But there's now like more, and quite frankly, it's offensive shit. Then I'm just like, why? Like I'd rather spend more time with Sasha than with Tim Meadows or like. And the thing is, like, I fucking love Michael Rooker. Like, and I'm like. This is the worst part because like I wish he would have been a CGI character that was just his voice, so that way we can get him as a good kid. But now we've cast him. We can't use him for anything. Like I mean, I'm sure, and if they do, they're just gonna retcon this somehow because it's like again, like we've seen his face now. Like we've already heard him in Creature Commandos voicing characters that he doesn't look like Michael Rooker at all. So I'm like, okay, cool. This is what we're gonna use him for as his like main live action role in DC. And like there are. Vanessa, what did you think?
I already,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that
And Judo Master's a bitch.
Also, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of seeing Judo Master again. I don't think the character adds much. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really need him. I think sometimes you just like, it's like, oh, this will make people laugh, and like, I feel like the show can be deep, like a little bit deeper than that, like, and be smarter about laughs. Like, I don't think we need all these characters that are making cheap jokes. But what do I know? I don't know. I don't write TV. But I do want to.
You should.
That would be interesting. But I am curious about things like, since we have watched this entire episode and talked about Suicide Squad, both of them, and Amanda Waller and whatever, but some things are canon and some things are not in this universe. James has mentioned on his podcast that like Bloodsport is canon, but what he did to get thrown into Belle Reve, which is that like, there's questions on like what's canon, what's not. Obviously this isn't canon anymore because of this. But why are what do we think about him cherry picking what's canon? Obviously, like things that are part of his projects, he's obviously elevating and pushing into the DC universe, but there's some things that are just like, we don't know, like Harley Quinn and like other things. So like, what do you guys think about this?
This is how I looked at it. Like, that, like, again, because I always remember, like, when we were doing the Flash podcast, like back in like season 1 and 2, and like, we were talking about the multiverse and stuff like that, and like how we deal with doppelgangers, how we deal with alternate versions of characters, especially when it comes to like big screen and the small screen, because again, we were having the whole issue like, well, they're gonna do a Flash movie the same time as the Flash TV show and stuff like that. So like, I think the way that James is operating, and this is just my theory, like this is not like based on any inside knowledge or anything like that, this is how I think he's phasing it on, that the idea with the multiverse, when it comes to versions of of a character across different Earths, a lot of them have very, very similar history. Like, it's almost very, very identical, but then with some differences. So again, I think that, for example, if we bring back Idris Elba as Bloodsport, even though I would rather him play a way cooler character than Bloodsport, but like if we bring him back as Bloodsport, I think some things will remain canon from when we first saw him in the Suicide Squad, and then some things will just, again, this is his DCU doppelganger. And that, the one that we saw in the Suicide Squad is his DCEU doppelganger. Again, so there are like things that are different there and things that are going to be different here in DCU, but something are still going to be similar. Like, so, again, cherry picking. I mean, he can, because he's the boss. Like, at the end of the day, like he's the co-CEO of DC Studios now. So like, I'm sure, like, listen, if I was in charge, I would be doing that shit too, honestly. Like, like, yeah, it's funny kind of seeing like, that's what you're picking and not this, and you're picking that. So like, that's going to be like the funnier thing to kind of like follow for the next, couple of years. But at this point, like, I'm not even shocked that like, okay, this is what we're just going to have to put up with. Like, it doesn't really annoy me, but it's kind of like, again, like, oh, you went an extra step to go and like go make 2016 Suicide Squad now partially canon. So that's what's kind of funny to me. So yeah, it's definitely cherry picking. I agree with Vanessa. But it's definitely like, I read like, if we're gonna do cherry picking, pick the good things that we maybe liked for the previous era. But again, like, I rather this be as much of a 99.99% reboot as much as possible.
Mike, thoughts?
Again, he's the boss. He can do what he wants. Now, it doesn't mean whatever he can do, he can do whatever he wants and we're going to like it. That's not always a guarantee. People can be pissed about it. I can care less, honestly, because it's just only serving this point of the story. I don't think Rick Flag Jr. and whoever supposedly is canon in the original Suicide Squad is going to have any effect other than the fact that, there have been multiple missions with the Suicide Squad, and just leave us there. And Rick Flag was a part of it, and Chantress was in it. That's it, So everything else is just terms of connecting XYZ dot and all that stuff like that. Is just until we see Margot Robbie or Jared Leto or whatever. Probably not. Now I could say Jared Leto, no, but
not after episode 1.
Yeah, not after they made fun of his band.
I'm just saying, just like, that's where I'm like, I actually give a damn. I don't think it's gonna have dramatic weight to it. Just honestly, after this episode, like, or this season, I don't see what else you would bring back from the Suicide Squad, the original one, with David Ayer, like that you would make that canon. I really don't. Other than that, Amanda Waller had been running Task Force X. I don't think anything else will have any other impact. Not, oh, we made it because the death of Superman just died, and now we gotta create a another threat like Superman if he ever comes back, or another threat as strong as him. We need gets to get these villains, whatever. Like no, we just make it. We have heroes and villains for centuries, and I just want to make a team of villains here. Just leave it as that. So yeah, let's just keep it moving.
Well, anyway, my response to it is it's cheaper and easier to use characters from a previous universe than to build up and cast characters that people don't give a shit about anyway. Does anyone really care about recasting Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle? No. Especially when it's cheaper to just keep the last guy. Yeah, people are like, last guy. He barely got the chance. He barely got the opportunity to do it. Just keep last guy. My answer is, I know it's cheaper to do it. It's cheaper. It's easier, and you can use footage from previous things and splice them into things in future projects. So that's truly the response I was saying. But I was just curious because I've seen a lot of people speculating or like kind of debating about why some things are canon, some things are not, and like why we still have Viola Davis as Amanda Waller and not Harley, like why Margot Robbie is still in question. The reality is money, y'all. Someone is Viola and Margot are very expensive. That's probably the most likely answer as to why those projects have been greenlit yet. Would they, if they were like, yeah, I'll sign on for whatever dollars, I'm so passionate about this project, we would have had a Waller show already. But they want to get paid. And does DC have the budget to pay those two women?
Not now. They don't.
Exactly. So I think that's largely
one.
Yeah, I don't know about both, but that's the thing. Like when you have like superstars in your in the universe, like you have to juggle which ones you're bringing in, and he is technically Jason Momoa's Aquaman is no longer canon because we're going to have Jason Momoa playing Lobo in this universe. So like we're going to have a completely different Aquaman. So that's part of where I'm like interested if like general audiences get confused in the future. Maybe they don't care enough to like even notice but I know that Aquaman did make $1 billion. So maybe they will notice. We'll see. Actually, that'll be interesting.
It'll be in makeup and hair and
we'll see.
Not a lot of people watched the Suicide Squad because it came out during COVID when it wasn't.
But a lot of people watch Aquaman, and that movie made a ton of money. So I am curious. I think that'll be the biggest.
Did it come back for Aquaman? Did they come back for Aquaman 2?
When did that release? I don't know if I watched
it. 2 years ago, I fell asleep in the theater the first 10 minutes.
I think I watched it on the plane on mute. Anyway. So yeah, on that note, what do we any last thoughts on this episode before we sign off, y'all?
Great. I mean, besides our issues, I mean, I say this is probably the strongest episode of season 2, and we haven't even seen the final 3 yet. So again, there's really good stuff coming up in 4 and 5, but like this was the one where like I was really excited for all it was to get finally to talk about. So, Mike.
Yeah, I thought this was a good episode that kind of lead us in moving forward in terms of what the overall story is supposed to be for the rest of the season, and I'm excited for it. But yeah, again, certain characters just take me out, and certain comedy jokes and stuff like that. It's just kind of like, okay, parts of it I like, and parts of that just kind of become unwanted filler. And hopefully after episode 5, that we'll get more, context and kind of wrap this thing together and see how things turn out. So I gotta wait 2 weeks and actually get some meat here. So I'm sticking with it. What's good here is great. John Cena, Amelia, the cast and the main story that we're following here, good. So it's like that's the only thing that's bringing me back right now. So yeah.
Agreed. I think it was a great episode, and I can't wait to see more of the alternate universe. And if our theories are correct, this is some sort of Earth X version or not. But anyway, before we sign off, you guys, sorry, I feel like I burp and a yawn at the same time. It's so gross. I'm so sorry. Excuse me.
Do you want me to do the plugs?
You can if you'd like, yeah.
I can do that. You can find DC Studios Podcast as part of DC Podcast as well as Multiverse of Color, which is where we all work at. And check out the links in the description below for where you can subscribe, follow, leave us ratings and reviews. That is a great way to support the show, and also catch up with all the other coverage we do on Multiverse of Color. Like Vanessa has lots of interviews coming up with comic book artists and writers. Jedi Mike is about to go to TIFF. I exist. Cool. So, Vanessa Guppy, where can we find you on social media?
Shark blindness. You can find me at Vanessa Shark on everything. I, like Andy said, have interviews coming. I have one on the site already. I have an interview with Green Lantern Corps writer coming as well. And then I'll be at New York Comic Con next month. Or not next month. Wait, it's still August? I'll be at New York Comic Con in October. And yeah, you can also check out my stuff on vanessashark.com. What about you, Mike? Where can our listeners find you?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter and TikTok at Jedi Mike 7. Brought to you by Soa Media, and I'll be doing a lot of coverage going to TIFF in the next couple of days, Toronto, Ontario, and I have a ton of coverage and stuff that'll be coming shortly. You can find me everywhere at Jedi Mike 7.
All right, y'all. Until the next time, until episode 4, we'll see you around. Keep yourself out of orgies.